Okay. Hey, back again, similar to what we did against Swansea. It's Peter and Paul this time.
Hello.
As I said, Peter, half the time I call you Pete, don't I? So,
Yeah.
again, I'll have a link to Paul's channel in the description below, and apparently there's contrast and brightness on the computer. Not concerning. Okay, so we just watched Tottenham 4, Sunderland 1, so who wants to start then? Let's just talk about it, same as we did against Swansea, really.
Well,
It was first half. I thought we played quite well. Actually, I thought first half we did what we should have done. Well, at least for the first 40 minutes we did, and then what was disappointing was taking the lead, and then Sunderland thinking, do we keep ourselves at 1-0? Now let's let Spurs back in it. Go on, why not? But then second half, Spurs were just too good for us, weren't they? Really.
I thought Tottenham deserved to win. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I thought Sunderland were defended well, pressed Spurs well, and I thought Sunderland deserved the lead for the way they defended. But the goals, the goals weren't great, but I suppose 6 points from 3 games.
Yeah, we'd have took that before the Villa game,
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
It would have took probably a winning against Villa and Swansea, even if it meant losing at Spurs. The only thing that's disappointing again is that we lost quite comfortably, but Spurs, they are where they are for a reason. Paul, what did you think?
I think now.
It doesn't really help. It doesn't really help that the Blue Mags are winning as well. That's not
know.
even. Well, bear in mind we're recording this during the first half of the 3 o'clock kickoff, so by the time this goes up tonight, other results will probably have happened. So, come on, West Ham. And Norwich and Watford and Leicester. Sorry,
I'm forever blowing bubbles.
I thought you were going to say like Bubbles de Beer from Little Britain. You don't even know who that is, do you?
No.
Okay, forget it.
I thought this was Sunderland Tottenham reaction, not Little Britain reaction.
I know.
Little Britain reaction.
Do forgive me.
Little Britain reaction is ludicrous, much like Sunderland's second half performance.
Since when did Little Britain come into Sunderland?
I don't know. Well, Sunderland's in Britain.
Nah, we'll give them that, Pete.
Literal quote
Just
and
this
fact of the
once.
day, guys. Yeah, I mean, it was disappointing, especially. I mean, to be fair, the third goal. Actually, would you count the third goal as an own goal or an Ericsson goal?
Ericsson.
Because I would have said if it didn't take a deflection, that looked a world class goal when we first saw it. But
I must make a comment on that goal. Kirschkov. I'm not blaming him for that goal, but just the way he stuck out his legs, like just such a lazy effort. There was no effort there to close him down or anything. O'Shea and Brown probably could have closed him down quickly enough as well. So, but no, shout out to Pickford. I thought Pickford had a very good game.
which is quite funny. Quite weird. We're saying Pickford had a good game, and yet you can see
I
the
thought Van Holt today going defending as well. I thought he defended well. Going forward, he was good again.
I'll tell you
Johnson as well.
the pass from Johnson for Van Aanholt's goal was absolutely superb.
Excellent goal.
It was a brilliant, well-worked goal from
brilliant,
someone
that.
from a set piece, which was something we don't usually don't do often enough. The only thing again that was disappointing was that 2 minutes later it was 1-1.
I know. Yeah.
But having said that, I would admit I think even if we'd held on to the lead at half time, I still think Spurs would have come back to win the game.
Yeah.
Personally,
Yeah,
because I think even then we still would have felt the fatigue from Wednesday night. Although I did mention that I think we wouldn't have felt it as much psychologically because we won.
Well, I suppose you make a good point there. I haven't just thought about this until now, but I mean, when Swansea had the ball on Wednesday night, you seen how quick we were to close them down all game.
And to be fair, Swansea was a much more important game than
And
Tottenham.
in the second half, obviously, we were a little bit off. They got their space and they made us pay for it. But probably tired legs.
I think yeah. So I think
I hope anyway.
well, we're hoping so.
Yeah.
Better bloody beat Bournemouth next weekend.
They've got a week off now. Recover for Bournemouth.
Yeah,
Big
But-
game that though.
I know. Well, it's similar to Swansea. Had to win, and the same with Villa. So to be fair,
I don't know about you, but I do get the impression from Allardyce, he's that type of boss. The teams around you, you'll win, which obviously we haven't used to do. And then the higher teams, you'll get hammered from. I mean, since he's come in, we've beat obviously Villa, Swansea, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Stoke. I know obviously Stoke having a good season, but then you look who we've lost to: Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Tottenham, and I mean 3 of them games were like what 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. So
3 of them. Do you mean 2 of them?
uh,
Because Arsenal and Chelsea were both 3-1.
well, 3-1, 3-1, 4-1.
But even Arsenal twice technically, we actually played all right against Arsenal in both of those games.
yeah, Arsenal twice, yeah.
Chelsea, to be fair, we didn't really put much of an effort in. Similar with City, but to be fair, I mean, Man City got hammered 4-1 off Spurs back in September, so it's not the end of the world in that aspect. But it is still disappointing.
I don't. In terms of that, I've seen things on social media about Allardyce. I think, in terms of the Catmull thing, obviously Catmull's a big player for Sunderland, but I mean, 1, he was booked, and 2, he wasn't playing well anyway.
And 3, also, we need him for Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, if I think about it, if you'd lost anyway and took Catmull off, so if you'd left Catmull on, got a second yellow, got sent off, got hammered, but then he misses Bournemouth, that could affect the outcome of that
As
game.
for the Danny Graham thing, normally I try and think about. I try and use the manager's logic in some decisions Allardyce makes. I think, oh well, you might have done this because of that. You might have done that because of this. But in terms of Danny Graham, I've got no answer to why you played him today. I mean,
the only thing I
too
can
slow.
the only thing I can come
Far
up
too
the only thing I can come up with is because you'd probably chase around after a ball that Spurs would have. You know, as in Spurs would have. We knew Spurs were going to have a lot of possession going into the game, so you'd think that he would just press high up the pitch and just try and run about and try and press and close down from the front. That's the only way I can think of that Graham would start. But it's safe to say Graham's not Sunderland quality, is he?
No, I mean,
well, based on how we have been recent years, he might be. But
in terms of players like that, I mean, Jack Rodwell. When we first signed him, I thought it's a hefty fee, but I thought, well, he's proved it. But then, no, I mean now, he just when he plays, he's like, honestly, I'm not joking. I forget he's playing. I mean, he's non-existent. He just doesn't get involved. He doesn't put himself about, and you do honestly forget he's playing. At the end of the game, and I seem
you didn't notice him the last two games when he came on.
Nah,
which is ridiculous.
I wouldn't sell Rodwell, and I'll find out how much anyone's willing to pay.
Yeah, anyone out there who wants Jack Rodwell for 10 million plus, he'd be brilliant. He's a brilliant midfielder.
Contact Sam Allardyce.
Here you go, hang on. Here's a direct message. Here's a direct advertisement from Paul.
If you want him, just contact Sunderland. Contact Ella Short.
Go on, expand on that. Go on, we need a bigger advertisement for Jack Rodwell.
Bid starting from £1. Absolutely shocking.
That's about £9,999,999 short. Whoa.
We're not down there.
Okay, so there you go. There you go. Anyone who wants Jack Rodwell, he's all yours for about 2p.
2p.
To be fair, actually, I mean, I generally think. I mean, Pickford, for example, we said that obviously we had a good game and conceded 4 goals, but again, you've just got to hold the hands up and just say Tottenham were just too good for a second half.
Yeah, they were.
And I think fatigue did definitely have a part to play. I mean, I know we won on Wednesday, but one thing is we had to play in North London last weekend, South Wales in midweek, and then North London.
Yeah, well
again.
done all the fans making all that travelling.
Well done, our Wales.
Yeah, so I think we would have took defeats against Arsenal and Tottenham if it meant beating Swansea, because Swansea are a team around us, and Watford fucking beat them on Monday night. Please.
I mean, in terms of the 3 games we played this week, I mean, I was at Arsenal last Saturday, and I mean, so we lost to Arsenal. Probably didn't deserve to lose to Arsenal. Deserved to beat Swansea. Played well for the first half against Tottenham. So the performances are there. Obviously, the results are there.
I think it was just too much for them in 1 week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'd like to think that was the case.
I just hope next week. I mean, like I said, we've beat Villa, beat Swansea, so we've proved we can beat the teams around us.
If we beat Bournemouth and hopefully teams around us actually lose, then we could go out of the bottom 3 if we win next week if teams around us get beat.
I think, yeah,
probably.
It depends on Swansea.
Well, I mean, Newcastle's got Watford away, which you'd think Watford would probably win given how they've been this season. But then again, Newcastle seem to have, half the time, seem to look like they've turned a corner. Because they do actually, to be fair, talk about the relegation rivals. Newcastle seem to play all right in a lot of games. They just don't have a striker who can score goals regularly for them.
No, I think in terms of the players, like obviously Wijnaldum and Perez, obviously they've said Shelby trying to get Townsend.
On paper, it looks a good side.
It looks good. It's just can they play it together? That's the question.
Yeah, well, I mean, who else is there around? I mean, Villa. Can you see Villa getting out of it at this stage?
Villa don't.
Now that we've said
Villa fans.
Now that we've said this, Villa fans, you might have gone and beaten Leicester, which we hope isn't the case.
No.
But Newcastle, last time we checked, were winning against West Ham. But who else is around? What about Swansea? Because you said yourself after Wednesday.
I'm shocked Swansea are even there. But I mean, like we said on Wednesday night, I mean, getting rid of Gary Monk in the first place, and then to bring in what's his name?
Alan Curtis. He didn't even want the job in the first place, from what I was reading.
You can tell Swansea don't look like Swansea, if that makes any sense.
But then again, they might beat Watford. You never know. And who's around at Bournemouth and Norwich? And last time we checked, Bournemouth were winning that.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, if Bournemouth win that and then we beat Bournemouth, it keeps Bournemouth in touch and distance of us as well as Norwich.
Yeah.
So it mightn't be a bad result if Bournemouth do end up beating them, but we prefer a draw out of the two of them. Okay, dude, right. Yes or no? Oh, hello. Hello, peoples. Sorry, that was a low power on my phone. Okay, one word answer. At the moment, do you think Sunderland will go down?
No.
Okay, can you give reasons why? This is more to encourage me than anything else.
Honestly, it's not the way Sunderland play. Other results obviously change your thoughts because other teams pick up points. Like I say, Newcastle are obviously beating West Ham at the moment. But no, why do I think Sunderland will stay up? I don't think Bournemouth, Norwich, or I don't think they have enough in their tank to stay up. Swansea, obviously they're on a... Well, you can look at Swansea. Can you see Swansea recovering? I mean, Villa too far behind. So I do think it'll go very close to the end of the season. But like I say, I think Sunderland with Allardyce and look at the other clubs who they've got. I mean, in terms of the managers, Swansea, Alan Curtis, Norwich,
Alex Neil.
Then
you got Eddie Howe at Bournemouth.
Remy God for Villa. I mean, there's not much experience there compared to Sam Allardyce, is there?
No.
So
Even Steve McLaren's got more experience than the rest of them, though.
yeah, exactly. So
like I said, I think Newcastle on paper look a decent side. I think I'm going to go optimistically and say Sunderland will stay up, but I think it's mainly because of Sam Allardyce. I think that's the main reason why. I think there's.
Sam will keep Sunderland up. To be honest, look what he did against West Ham for West Ham.
Well, that's what I mean, because when he was at West Ham, he stabilised them as a club there, and look, and Bilic is benefiting from that massively, because I think he's benefiting from this defensive organisation. Well, obviously West Ham are losing at the minute, but they're benefiting from defensive organisation, and Bilic has added the attacking flair. It's a bit similar to what Roberto Martinez first done at Everton, benefiting from David Moyes' structure and organisation, and adding some attacking flair on top of that. So I think Sunderland will stay up mainly because of Big Sam. So all I ask is Sunderland finish above Newcastle and we finish 17th. There you go. I'll let everyone figure that out for themselves, but I don't see either club going down. Could you nail 3 teams on right now
to go down?
Yes.
Villa, Swansea, and I'm really torn between Bournemouth and Norwich. There you go. Norwich, Swansea, and Aston Villa.
Villa, Bournemouth, and either Norwich or Swansea. I think it's one that, again, although one thing I would point out in terms of the fixtures, who everybody's got, our end to the season actually isn't that bad. If you took away February, you've got Man City, Liverpool, Man United. Then the end of the season's West Ham, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Everton, Newcastle, West Brom, Leicester, Norwich, Arsenal, Stoke, Chelsea, Watford. So you've only, after Man United, you've only got 2 of the big teams left, unless you count Everton as a big team. But you've got 2 or 3 of the big teams at most.
I mean,
the rest of the games we should be having a chance of winning, really.
In terms of the game, today, like you said, I mean, you didn't expect anything, obviously, did you?
We would have preferred to have not got battered, though. It would have been nice, even if we'd lost just 2-1 or something.
4-1 flat. Tottenham deserved to win.
2-1, 3-1 probably.
4-1 flattered them. Obviously another penalty conceded again, but no.
We didn't expect anything.
I mean, to be honest, normally I'm always dead frustrated when Sunderland get beat, but to be honest, I'm over it now because I expected it anyway. So.
Like I said, because we beat Villa and Swansea, we probably could have afforded defeat today, but we can't win. I think if we had a choice between beating Tottenham or Bournemouth, you'd pick Bournemouth, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You'd pick Bournemouth to beat. So I mean,
only thing I would comment on, like you said yourself, 1-0 up and throwing away a lead that quickly. I mean, like the other night, Swansea down to 10, then conceding that quickly. It's just missed lapse of concentration at the wrong times that will cause them to be where we are, unfortunately. So
I think quickly to wrap it up with transfers. I mean, actually, the main nothing that pretty much has been updated since the Swansea game, except for us shockingly being linked with Andre Ayew.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which we've been talking about this quite a bit, which is actually quite amazing because why the fuck would Swansea sell Ayew to Sunderland? Now, don't get me wrong, I rate Andre Ayew as a player. I think he actually looks very good technically. He can finish as well as he proved on Wednesday, and he's decent in positions up front. But why, if Swansea sold him to Sunderland, if Swansea sell him to Sunderland, then I'd say Swansea would probably go down.
I mean,
but I don't see. I'd love to see Andre Ayew at Sunderland, but I don't see him coming personally.
When Swansea got rid of obviously Shelby for a reason. I mean, I've seen a lot of the Swansea fans talk about his attitude and things like that. I think Swansea would only give Sunderland Ayew based on if they've got another player lined up to replace him. But I mean, like you say, if Sunderland want to get him, they're going to have to
shell out for
fork out a lot of money. But if they're winning to stay up, then you've got to pay big good players, don't you?
Having said
unless
that,
you recruit well, obviously.
I'll tell you what, Swansea. If Alan Curtis or anyone at Swansea's watching this video, can we give you something like 8 million? You can have Stephen Fletcher.
And Danny Graham.
Yeah.
Jack Rodwell.
No, fuck this. I'll tell you what, we'll get Andre Ayew.
You can have the full squad.
You can have... No, there's some decent players there,
well,
to be fair.
Not Defoe.
That's one. No, but seriously, Alan Curtis, if... You're obviously not going to watch this, but seriously. Rodwell, Graham, Bridcut, I know Buckley's gone. Fletcher... You take half of the side for all, aren't you?
I'll tell you what. Right. Jack Rodwell, he's an ex-England international, ex-Man City player. He's absolutely fantastic. Then you've got Stephen Fletcher, who scores about 5 goals a season. He'll do very well for you. Who else do we mention? Buckley, of course, he's quite quick with pace when he can be bothered. That's one.
But Rodwell, no, seriously though, I think I would try and sell Rodwell. What about Pantelimon?
Now that's an interesting one because we talked about it because Lucas Fabianski for Swansea looked very shaky against Sunderland when he played against us, and we were thinking on the way here to watch the Tottenham game that they might want a new keeper. So you think if we offered them Pantelimon plus say 8 million or something, or whatever fee it could be, would they be tempted with that? And then if they sold Fabianski, they could use that to get somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, based on the other night, I mean, he didn't. Well, he didn't look convincing, did he?
Well, no, he didn't. It was his mistake that led to our first goal.
But
So
no, I do think Pantilimon will go. In terms of who do I think he'll go to, I would say don't stand to another Premier League rival. But I think he will stay in England going forward. I think so.
Well, one last thing about players staying in England, Charlie Austin, which, as you know, I've always wanted us to sign him, and I'm pretty pissed off actually that Southampton have gotten for $4 million. We should really be going in for a player like that. But one thing that might happen though, QPR might come in for, say, one of our strikers. I'm being optimistic here, like Fletcher or Graham, because I think both of them need to get out the door personally. But
yeah,
maybe QPR might come in for Stephen Fletcher, because I think in the Championship Fletcher could probably walk it.
Oh yeah, Fletcher's proved he can score goals. He's capable. So
who knows? Well, guys, that's pretty much going to be it, because we actually ran over 15 minutes. But well, let's just hope this is an accident, and hopefully it's just a one-off. Yeah, let's just beat Bournemouth next week. So, anything you want to say to the lads before we part off?
Thanks for watching the video.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Still in my line,
See you
practically.
later.
Yeah.
Okay, see you guys later. I'm gonna do a separate YouTube video
Have a good
by
weekend.
myself for Paddy Wagging.
Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
There we go. Well, depends. It's actually ruined now, partly because we're lost 4-1. But guys, I'm gonna do another video me separately reviewing the game, because I know Paddy Wagging games in particular. Shout out to you, mate. You like me when I do it on my own. So, but there you go, guys. This is part 1 technically, and there'll be another one. Thanks again for watching.
Bye.